vers 2006-2007. C'est là où j'ai intégré la projection peinture, qui m'a beaucoup aidé parce qu'elle remettait tout en cause dans mes compositions de peinture, dans le sens où dès que je commençais à projeter, il y avait un risque énorme de ne pas projeter comme tu veux. Une projection ratée peut tout te faire casser, quoi. Il y a un côté aussi risqué, le fait de peindre, mais il y a aussi le risqué dans la peinture en soi. Ça m'a permis surtout de dynamiser beaucoup mes peintures. Ça, j'aimais bien, d'avoir un côté un peu plus agressif, vraiment un truc de pêche avec une espèce de choc visuel beaucoup plus présent. J'ai pu jouer encore avec la coulure à outrance, mélanger les matières encore plus, et ça m'a permis aussi de changer un petit peu d'échelle.
You want graphic design? I'll give you the best graphic design in the world. Newspapers, edgy illustrations, record covers, t-shirts, design, more design, more design, fantastic design, bugs, great design, modern design, great design for you. Extensive list of clients, great clients, good work. Good design, Braulio. Braulio.com.
For me, when I'm thinking of making a dance or any sort of work, the piece cannot be complete until I figure out the space. And because my work is so slow, it gives again time for the viewer to consider and notice the use of space. When I started thinking of putting my works in exhibition spaces, I wanted to not ask for a different attention from what already exists in these spaces, but I wanted to stay with what was used in an exhibition space. People walk by you and you're just there. Half of the audience tells me about it's very meditational, and half of the audience says to me it's very tense. And I think they're both there. I started depending very much on the physicality, getting very specific which part of the body moves from one place to the other. And then slowly this in-between place became very much my interest. In the beginning, when I would go and see shows, my response was, "Can you stop? I want to look at you." Of course, I would never ask that from other people. It was their show. So then I started doing it in my work. From all the busy surroundings, I wanted more time, and I wanted to elevate the most simple things to have weight. If we can tune down even for a few seconds, that we can focus on the breath, we can focus on looking at somebody's eyes. It's like it's movement, it's dance for me, these little things, you know? And they're the most important movements.
Hey, it's so good to see you. Hey, good to see you. Hey, how are you? Oh, I'm great, I'm great. Well, I'm really hungry. Yeah? Yeah, I wanna grab some food. You wanna come with me? Oh, I'm not really hungry. Oh, yeah, I have this casting later. Oh, I understand. Yeah, and it's a little weird. Oh, yeah. Okay, then why don't you give me a call later? Yeah, I'd love that. Let's talk later? Totally, let's talk later.
Where does light come from? Who saw light first?
What is it that makes a space, challenging and exciting and embracing and including and hospitable and tolerant and so on? What is that? When I make something, which maybe is a work of art, I want this to be in the world. I want it to be kind of sincerely and honestly and responsibly in the world. I want it to have an impact somehow. It's important to maybe talk about to what extent do we feel that we have an impact on our world, on the surroundings. To what extent do we feel that it makes sense to vote or to participate or not to participate or to step in or step out and so on. To what extent do we feel a cause and effect or a causal sort of dimension to our life? Does it actually even matter that we have an opinion about something or that we are here in the first place? I think one of the main sort of unique qualities about the kind of the language that art speaks is that it kind of doesn't take the world for granted as being truthful. It looks at the world as if the world is a model. And what happens is if you successfully, starts a dialogue on that basis, that reality is, construction. What happens is suddenly reality also becomes relative. Suddenly it can change. Suddenly, if it's a construction, it's much more likely to be renegotiated. And if it's a kind of an objective truth, it's less likely to be renegotiated because people might think that God has made it or something like that. When I talk about the reality or the world not being objective but being a personal sort of point of view, it's not so much about the personal point of view, but it's simply just to argue that the world can change, and art is one of the tools or one of the ways you can address this sort of the nature of this change. Traditionally, a lot of people refer to space as a sort of container where you can put something inside. I would rather like to see space, or the city as New York, if you want, the public space, as a kind of multiple layer of stories, all the stories in New York so far. Adding the waterfall is just adding one more story to all these stories, becoming a part of the city. It's a sort of entanglement where these waterfalls and the city become one thing, and they develop, and that space goes on. I've added, one more story to the history of that city.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm going to ask you some questions. Stefan, are you a girl?
No, I'm not a girl.
Fuck you!
Very good.